Okay, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our regular Tuesday evening Savvy Movement Zoom call. This is like a presentation that you might be invited to attend. I'm just going to mute everybody, actually, because I've got...
No. Well, I just don't have to discuss anything. I get away with it.
If you are not muted, would you mute yourself, please? That's really kind, because we just see manage participants, mute all, and unmute me. Right, can you all hear me? Can you raise your hands?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you very much. My name is not Suzanne Burns, I'm actually Nikki Tolson, I've just seen that. Let's start recording. Here we are recording. Warm welcome to our regular Tuesday evening Savvy Movement Zoom call. Gordon, Michelle, Julie and I and a few others have grown up with face-to-face meetings, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to sit in our homes and introduce people to the product and the business opportunity that we have absolutely loved for the last 20 plus years. And this evening we've got some absolute pros going to deliver information on our product and on our business. So a little bit about me. My name is Nikki Tolson. I have been in the business for 23 years, probably plus. I've been saying 23 years for an awfully long time. And I just don't know where I would be without the products. And in fact, when I started this business, I didn't really believe that the process of the business opportunity would really work for me. I've always been a working mum, although I've had quite a high-flying career. When you have children, it takes you down to reality level. So the fact that this business has turned into an ever-increasing pension for me has been just an absolute joy. So I've taken off in the last few years to introduce other people to this whole concept and how they too can enjoy the freedom that having more money than you actually need creates an environment of complete peace and tranquility for everybody. But I have to say, my kids spend my money faster than I can earn it, so I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that one. Anyway, this evening, we've got, as I said, a couple of pros who are going to deliver information on our fantastic natural product, Juice Plus. And no one better than to introduce the concept than someone who's been around it for many years and who's had a lot of experience, particularly for the ladies. I think the guys might like some of this as well, but ladies always want to look their best. And Michelle Johns has a wonderful delivery and explains how the natural parts and product of Juice Plus can actually benefit. So Michelle, I'm going to unmute you if I can find you on this list. There we are. I've unmuted you. And if you'd like to explain a little bit about yourself, I haven't asked anybody if they would like to give a product testimonial at the end of the show.
I've organised that. I've got two people to do that. And I think Gordon.
Take it away, Michelle.
All right. Thank you very much, Nikki. So good evening to everybody. And thank you very much for joining us on this Tuesday evening. It's always a joy.
Oh, muted her somehow. Hang on a minute. Hang on. I'll just mute you. What have I done?
There we go. I've done it, Nikki. Don't worry. I've just unmuted me. Can you hear me?
Can now. Sorry, I was just trying to get the screen share working for you.
Okay. So thank you for everybody joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to be here as always, and you know, this is my, it is now my passion. I spoke to somebody at the weekend. We did an event at the weekend, and I was saying, you know, this really is sort of a passion. My background is health and beauty therapy, so I've always been passionate about helping women with their health and beauty goals. But Juice Plus coming together, it's like almost like a perfect marriage, because I was very aware when I was looking after my clients that I was only looking after them from the outside in, and I'd always felt that there was something missing. And when I came across Juice Plus, it really was that aha moment that I really had the final corner, if you like, that there was something that I could offer to my clients that would make a difference from the inside out, which I really felt was something that was quite important and something that had kind of been missing. And just looking at this first slide, it really just, can we just mute everybody? I think Harriet needs to be muted there.
Oh, sorry.
So just looking at the first slide and showing these cogs, because I think this was really what kind of brought it home to me, that this was something that I was finding with all my clients. It wasn't so much that people didn't know what they should be doing, but just the effects of everybody's busy lifestyles. Our lifestyle and our life had really probably become quite unbalanced just because of us all being so busy, and perhaps because of that busyness, turning to processed food. So I've been in the business 14 years, and so I'm going back a little while, and I think time has moved on and people are much more, I think in that time, more aware of their health. But back then, I think we did look more to processed food that then, very high in fat and sugar and salt, which in turn meant that people are putting on weight, they're lacking in energy, they're, perhaps so busy that they're not taking enough time to exercise, not resting enough, and that in turn has lots and lots of, other effects. It's this sort of downward cycle, if you like. And I think that was what led me to then go on with sort of starting with nutrition, then going on to train as a yoga teacher, because I really felt life had become so imbalanced, and it had for myself. So just moving on to the next slide, please, Nikki. I mean, this statement just rings true. Our health is our responsibility, but the fantastic thing is that we can actually make a difference. And that comes down to the choices we make. And I think it was really a little bit more about educating people and almost giving people that chance to, get more balance into their life, so that they knew that, there were things that they could make in terms of just doing small, simple things. And I think for me, that's where Juice Plus came in, because it was very much about bridging the gap. Just moving on, please, Nikki. And I always think that Juice Plus, when I first heard about it, I could see that it would answer an awful lot of questions. It would bridge the gap. It was a way of making sure that people would have that huge array of antioxidants from fruits and vegetables. When I understood what Juice Plus was, that you've got these 30 different fruits, vegetables and berries, but in capsule form, it was, wow, this is so incredibly simple that it's something that we can do on a very consistent basis. We all know the power of fruits and vegetables. It really does work at a cellular level. So it's helping to prevent oxidative stress. And when you think that it's oxidative stress that causes basically chronic disease, degenerative diseases, and aging. So for me as a beauty therapist, knowing that I needed to be recommending something to my clients that they could do on a regular basis, this was something that just made sense. And it wasn't just to protect from the inside out in terms of the skin. It was all the other benefits of a healthy immune system, giving somebody more energy so that their bodies would recover, and just help us to function that much more effectively and efficiently. And it was something that when I first heard about Juice Plus, I knew it was something that I needed to take for myself, being sort of very busy. And my son at that time was only 2 years old, just approaching his 3rd birthday. And really, I had to force feed him. Sort of, he was green and vaguely healthy. He really, wasn't naturally going to eat it. So, I played the trains, planes and whatever to get him to eat it. So for me, it was something that made sense instantly. I understood the value of it, and I knew it was going to make a difference to myself, my family, and also it would make a difference to my clients. So it was really something that would bridge the gap between what we all know we should be doing and what most of us were doing at that time. And back then we were looking at the 5 a day, which really I used to think was bare minimum health, and really what we needed was to be looking at optimum health and vitality. So 5 a day kind of wasn't really going to cut it. Fortunately, our government, along with governments around the world, have upped that, but we're still really, way down in that list at 7 to 9 fresh fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. And, whereas other countries have gone up as high as 20. So to be able to have an added 30 different fruit and veg every day is really something that I think is very exciting and something that we should all be looking to do. So it's very much a nutritional safety belt just to fill in those gaps. So just moving on, please. This is what we have with fruits and vegetables, with our Juice Plus capsules. As I said, it's 30 different. So you've got that variety, which I think is very, very important, because I think with the best will in the world, and I juice regularly, But even when I'm juicing, I'm probably only putting a variety of perhaps 5 at most. My base is celery, cucumber, perhaps an apple, maybe some lemon, perhaps a handful of kale, but I'm certainly nowhere near getting 30 different fruit, veg and berries every day. And that's what we get. It equates down to 3 full 8-ounce glasses every single day, but without the mess, without the slopping, mopping and chopping. And I probably said that in the wrong order. It didn't sound quite right, but I think you know what I mean. Juicing is fantastic, but with the best will in the world, as my client said to me, Michelle, I love the idea of it, but it isn't going to happen on that daily consistent basis. And I could see that. So this really does just fill that gap. So if we could just move on. And this is something that I think really sets us apart from every single supplement out there on the market. It's the scientific research that has been done on Juice Plus. And this is slightly out of date now, saying 31 published studies. We've now actually got 35 and very soon to have about 40 studies because they're ongoing. And it's this clinical research that's published in peer-reviewed scientific journals that has really set us as the #1 whole food supplement. And I think that's what we've got to remember. It's a whole food supplement. It's not isolated vitamins and minerals. These scientific research that's been done on the products prove that it delivers the key phytonutrients so that they're actually absorbed by the body. And that's really important. We see headlines in newspapers saying vitamins are an expensive waste of money. That's because they're isolated and we're not necessarily absorbing them. We know that the science proves that that the product is bioavailable and that we are actually absorbing the products. It also proves that it reduces the markers of oxidative stress. And I mentioned that earlier, oxidative stress being, the cause of aging and all of the degenerative diseases. So it's nice that we've got this proven. It positively impacts several key indicators of cardiovascular health. So these are things that we're not necessarily going to feel. You can be taking supplements and sometimes it's quite hard to sort of quantify what you're feeling. Usually it's things like you notice the energy, and for me that was what I noticed really within 6 weeks of taking it. I just felt better in myself. My clients started looking at me and saying, what are you doing? You just look fantastic. And it was Juice Plus. I hadn't changed anything else in my diet. It was only the Juice Plus. And there are lots and lots of anecdotal stories which are incredible, and we will hear from some. But it's really nice just to be able to go down to the fact that we have got these 35 scientific studies. And I think that's quite important to put that over. So just moving on, please, Nikki. As I said, it is the science, and it's this. I love this one slide that's up because when I went to my first meeting over 14 years ago, it was this particular slide that really captured my imagination, my excitement, and got me so passionate about the Juice Plus products, because that particular slide there shows how the levels of antioxidants were really significantly raised. Beta carotene was at 510%, alpha carotene 119%, lutein zeaxanthine 44%, lycopene over 2000%. These are all things that really impact the skin. So it's for me really exciting. Vitamin E, alpha tocopherol 58%, and then all importantly, which really, really stood out and really blew my mind, the lipid peroxides, the precursors to free radical damage, were decreased by over 75%. And that was the study that kind of went, wow, I've got to recommend this to my clients. This is what everybody does need. So that's the science part of it. One of the things that I'm absolutely passionate about, and I'm really proud to say that as a company, we really do give back. And this is the Children's Health Study, so that we as distributors and the company contribute so that you as an adult, if you decide to go on Juice Plus, you can sponsor a child so that they can get Juice Plus completely free and they can stay on the product for up to 4 years. And I think that is such a valuable thing. We know that if we can impact our children's health, it's healthy children hopefully will turn into healthy adults, but it's being able to educate them and start them at a young age. And the fact that they can get the product free, they can start it from the age of 4 to 21. And I think that is something that I feel very proud to be associated with. And I think to take part in this, you sponsor the child, so you take Juice Plus yourself, and the child can get Juice Plus. As I said, it's a minimum of a 1 year commitment. over that time, there's an online questionnaire that you'll fill in 3 times a year. And the results that we've got, the data that's been collected for that over a period of time, because we've now got over 1 million families that have participated in this. So over 1 million children have been able to get Juice Plus completely free. And the results have been absolutely fantastic, down to more children eating fresh fruits and vegetables. So just by giving children Juice Plus, they naturally have wanted to eat more fruits and vegetables, which I saw happen with my own son. Even at that young age of just before his 3rd birthday, he then naturally started eating the fruits and veg that he didn't want to eat prior to that. Drinking more water, less visits to the doctor, less days missed from school. And as a working mum, that is so important, that you have healthy kids, that you don't have to take time off from work because your children are poorly. And over 92% have had a positive impact in their health and well-being. So I think that is something that we're all very passionate about, and it's lovely that we can spread that word that children can actually get Juice Plus for their children completely free. And I think, Nikki, does that bring us to the end of the slides?
It does.
Thank you very much. I raced through that because I know we're on a fairly tight time schedule. So have we got Gemma Pullen on the line? Is Gemma here? Gemma, well done. Could you just, I know you've got an amazing, your story is absolutely fantastic, and it would be lovely if you could share that with us.
Yeah, definitely. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I've been on the product about probably 3 months now. Now, 4 months ago, I was severely depressed. I had really serious anxiety issues to the point where I couldn't even answer the phone to my best friend. I was really, really suffering. I was on medication. I was having to take anti-panic attack medication every day. And I'd seen a friend of mine who'd been posting a lot of Juice Plus, a lot of the science behind it. And now, as someone who used to juice a lot, I knew that science was what had helped me in the first place. So started taking the product. 3 months later, I'm talking to you guys on a Zoom call, which is something that I would never have dreamt of doing 3 months ago. I wouldn't have been able to do it. Came down to a Juice Plus conference over the weekend with people I didn't know. Again, I just wouldn't have been able to do that. So it's really changed my life. It quite literally changed my life, because it was all a bit of a mess. But the other things, like my skin's better, my hair's growing. I just feel like I get up in the morning and I'm ready to do what I need to do. It's amazing. But no, I've got the Children's Health Study as well. So my children are taking Juice Plus. My eldest son he's got some quite strong autistic tendencies going on there. He gets very anxious in situations where he doesn't know what's going to happen, where it's anything new. And Monday he went off on a residential trip with school. And it's things like that. His attitude to everything's changed. He's much less anxious. He's having less meltdowns. Anybody who's got autistic children will be very familiar with meltdowns. But it's improved not just my life, but Josh's as well. So all round, it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. And it's hearing testimonials like that is the reason that we all do what we do. And I know that you've joined the business and you're absolutely passionate because of the results that you've had. Thank you so much for sharing.
Well done, Gemma.
You. Could Aviva, have we got Aviva here? If Aviva's on and she could unmute herself.
I've unmuted myself.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, brilliant.
So I started taking the product 1.5 years ago. I heard about it from people at yoga and they were getting really good results from it. And then I found out that actually I could get the product free for my child. So I had a 15-year-old daughter at home who was vegetarian and not wanting to eat many different fruits and vegetables at all. So I thought, well, this is an absolute no-brainer. This is absolutely what we need. And for myself, I'm a junior school teacher, so I was getting colds very regularly. And it was actually quite a few months in before I really realized what the effects of the product were. I'd say 8-9 months in, you know, it was me sort of taking stock and looking back and thinking, oh, hang on a minute, I haven't had a cold for ages. And now I actually can't remember the last time I had a cold. End of December last year, I decided to do T30. I decided to try the detox. And 2 weeks in, I decided to try and come off the beta blockers that I'd been on for 2 years for my migraines. And I was very scared to do it, but I went ahead and the migraines have completely stopped. I've been to see my doctor. He's really, really amazed by it. He pointed out to me that in 2015, not only was I on the beta blockers, but he looked back and they had prescribed to me 48 strong painkillers, even though I was on the beta blockers every night. So I was at 48 amilgrams over the course of the year. And now I have told him I don't need the medication anymore.
That's absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
That's okay.
So I'll hand back to Nikki, and I think now we've got my other half doing.
We have indeed. But thank you, Michelle. Thank you for an absolutely super presentation of our products and the reasons that a lot of people take it. And thank you both of the girls who have undertaken the testimonials. Very powerful. And, you know, having been involved with this product for so many years and having a lot of hospital consultants in my team, one thing I always bring people back on track to is that this is just fruits and vegetables. It's nothing more than that. It's not a miracle cure for anything, but the science is proven, and we lean on the science very heavily, the impact that fruits and vegetables can have on our human physiology. There have been lots of comments in the chat congratulating both of you on your very brave testimonials, and well done, and we're really pleased that you've had such positive impact with taking the product on a regular basis. Now we're going to hear from Gordon, Michelle's other half, not her better half. Let's stick together, girls. Gordon has got a tremendous amount of experience, and I have to say I have watched Gordon over many, many years presenting the business side of what we do, and there is no one better with his background. He just spreads the information succinctly and effectively. So over to you, Gordon. While you introduce yourself, I'm going to try and share the screen again for you.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and thank you, Nikki, for that introduction. You know, that was a great presentation from Michelle. And just kind of give you a little bit about my background before I start, is that I actually got involved with the business opportunity. I was invited along to a meeting. My background is that of accountancy. The friend that invited me along knew that I was very interested in business, and he invited me along to hear and see for myself what he was up to. And that was as much as he told me. Although the one thing he did do was he shared the products with me before I went to the meeting. So at least I had an open mind, because they made sense to me. It was something that, yeah, look, fruits and vegetables in a capsule, that sounds amazing. And you know, that was the thing that really kind of hit home. What I saw at the meeting, though, was here was a business model that effectively kind of condensed, if you like, 40 years worth of work down to 3 to 5 years, but you earned the same amount of income. And that's what really attracted me most of all. And I started on the 19th of September, 1991. So I'm literally in my 25th year of working alongside Juice Plus, the Juice Plus company. And, you know, I say this not to impress anybody, but to impress upon you. You know, I now get paid from 19 of the countries, 26 different countries that Juice Plus operate in. I've built a business that spans across that. And, you know, I now see, and I'm excited about the future, because we see an ever-growing, if you like, influx of young people coming into our business. And that's where I see the excitement coming from. So what I'd like to do is just share with you a little bit about what I did when I first got involved. And, you know, being that kind of boring accountant, there was part of me that still wanted to find out about the company. And let me just tell you some of the facts about the company, because it's all very well to do your own research, but if you go to the internet, which is very unregulated these days, you might look at the wrong things. So I'm going to share with you some of the facts that I found out about. First of all, when I got involved in, 25 years ago, the company had actually been in existence for 20 years. It is now a 45-year-old company, founded in 1970. We like to think we are, and we know from the supplement producing marketplace that we are now the world leader in nutritional supplements, whole food supplements. As I said before, we're in 26 different countries worldwide. And during that time, we turned over $13 billion in sales. And the interesting thing is, I actually went to a conference in America just in March, and the CEO and president of the company shared with me that 2015, out of all those years, was the best ever year that they've had so far. 500 million in 1 year. And here we are in July, and I've actually recently come from the UK company, and they told me we've actually exceeded that 6 months into the year. So we're on a bit of a growth. We've got this commitment, as Michelle put forward, to the independent research. And in terms of the actual kind of company, we basically have to do what we do, and what the company do is they manufacture the products. They manufacture the products, they look after the logistics, they deliver the products, and we're all charged with the responsibility, effectively, is to find customers for that product. Can we move on to the next slide, please? So what we've actually, in essence, got is a very unique franchise opportunity, and that's where I saw, if you like, the close proximity to the Juice Plus opportunity, and it has got all the advantages of franchising. You know, the global company, the brand name product, the proven system that we can all buy into. But on the counter side, we've got none of the disadvantages. You know, you don't have to have the capital investment. You don't have to have all that stock to purchase. There's no cash to collect. There's none of these fun things like employees to employ. And there's no conventional overheads like we normally associate with starting up our own company. Therefore, there's no financial risk. And that's really the thing that appealed to me most of all. If we move on to the next slide. So what do? Well, Michelle kind of very adequately put together what we've got to do in terms of the products. We've got to take it. We've got to take it. We've got to share it. We've got to kind of get it, if you like, to love the products and invite our families and friends to do exactly the same. We actually use our product stories. That's why it's so important to listen to those 2 stories tonight. It's because that's how we would actually share our products. And we speak to as many people as we can. And that's where we will actually get the opportunity to actually share our product stories and our business story all along the way. And we effectively join the team and offer the opportunity to as many people as we can. And that's effectively how it's a very easy business. Not necessarily simple, but it's very easy in terms of the way in which it puts forward. And we move forward from there. So what about the financial side of it? Well, most people start this on a part-time basis. You can move to a full-time. And really, I started this off full-time, but I knew that I was going to end up as a part-time, as a full-time opportunity. And you can earn anything between 200, 2,000 or 20,000, depending on, you know, where you want to actually build your business and how large you want to build it. As I said, we're all charged with the responsibility of taking the product, sharing our stories, not just the product, but our business story, and inviting people to do exactly the same. And that's effectively the opportunity. As I said before, there's no risks. It's risk-free, effectively. I mean, for a £50 investment, which is what it costs you to actually get involved, you know, what are you going to lose at £50? You're going to lose nothing. The thing is, what you've got to do is put in £50,000 worth of effort to make this work. And that's the most important thing. So it's not going to come to you. You've got to do it. And we all have a little bit of fun along the way. And that's the most important thing. Because if you're going to run this alongside your full-time job, you want to have some fun. And what we do is we meet like-minded, positive people. And that's the thing that is very attractive, if you like, about our business. For a lot of people, I see this as a plan B, but very soon they end up as a plan A. And some people, They like to hear it, as Nikki said, about a pension fund. And perhaps that's, you know, one of the things that we've neglected over the years. And, you know, here we have an opportunity to build, if you like, a growing pension fund that's under your control, not under some large, massive corporate company. And the basis of our business is a lot of people doing a very small amount. And that's very important to bear in mind. So how do we generate the income? I think I've said this before. We're talking to people. And on one side of the actual equation, we've got our customers. And that's the most important thing. As an accountant, let me put my hat on. No one makes any money in our business unless there's customers. And we've got a model, if you like, the best model that we can have, because 90% of our turnover comes from customers that don't even know there's a business behind it. So they're buying the product for a genuine reason because they want to take the product and they're getting a benefit from it. What we do is we deliver that product and we to the customer using what's called a preferred customer program. The company, as we said, they will actually deliver that and look after the logistics of it. They will stock it, warehouse it. And in all the 26 different countries, they've got those facilities ready for there. So all we have to do is click on the internet and effectively order that product from the company. So at the end of the month, they will account to us that for that transaction, and we will get paid according to the effort and the amount of work that we put in. And effectively what we're doing is we're teaching people to teach people how to do our business. So we're not really looking for salespeople. In fact, salespeople are probably the worst people to come into our business. We're looking for people that will teach other people how to, if you like, develop the simple system that we put in place. Oh. Sorry. And really, it's all about down to the power of duplication and the power of numbers. And here you see three scenarios. You know, let's say that you start to build a business by introducing this to two people. You teach and train those people how to find their two people. They do exactly the same, and the continuing duplication goes on. At the end of, let's say, a period of time, might be 3 to 5 years, you've got 62 people in your organization. If only they move £100 worth of product, you're going to have a turnover of £6,200. And let's say we get paid at a very small percentage, 5% of the turnover of that whole group. Our monthly income would work out to £310. Now, I used to say £310 is not a lot of money, but I can tell you £310 is a lot of money when you don't have £310 at the end of the month. And that can be the difference between going on a nice family holiday. It could be buying maybe even or leasing a car. It could be a lot of really, really nice extra things in terms of your income. And that's where the part-time element comes into it. Let's say, for instance, you introduce it to more people. Let's say you introduce one more person. 3, you follow the same scenario. You help and teach and train them how to find their 3 people. They do the same. They build this up over a period of time. And then let's say 3 to 5 years, you've got 363 people in your organization. Do the same maths, 100 people, and the turnover of that group will be £36,300 on a monthly basis. You get paid 5% of that. In terms of that whole group turnover, you'll actually get £21,780. Now, Nikki, let me tell you, the average income in this country is just over £25,000. So you're actually on a part-time basis making effectively the average income that people would get paid in this country for doing what we're all doing, you know, just sharing the business, sharing the products, and kind of teaching other people how to do exactly the same. The scenario on the right-hand side, as you see it, is you know, perhaps speaking to a few more people, and you know, let's face it, that you know, our business, the more and longer you stay into it, the more people you want to share this with. And let's say, for instance, you kind of found 5 people, you taught and trained them how to find their 5 people, and it continued to duplicate down again 3 to 5 years. 3,905 people. We multiply that by £100 worth of product. Guess what the turnover is going to be, Nikki? It's going to be £390,000, £500,000. At the end of the day, 5% of that is £19,525. It's a bit like the scenario we painted before. We're going from a part-time income of £310 to a full-time income of £19,525. And if we multiply that by an annualized figure, you're actually in the top 5% of earners in the whole of the UK at that level. So very exciting in terms of the power of duplication. And I can tell you that in our organization, we've got many people that have actually reached that position in less than 5 years. We move on to the next slide. And really, you know, we talked about this before. Our business is about a lot of people doing a very small amount. So we have a program called 835+1, where we introduce maybe 3 to 5 customers on a monthly basis. We introduce it to one friend, one family, one colleague, and we continue to duplicate that down. And I can tell you, if you do that for a year constantly, and it's the consistent effort that is the most important thing within our business, then you will build an absolutely amazing business at the end of that time. And if we move on to the next slide. So really, you know, the ways that we get paid, there's multiple sources of income here. We're going to get paid for retailing the product, which is all, as I said, we're charged with that responsibility. We also get paid for building an organization, and we get paid that very small percentage because the company haven't had to teach and train all those people. They haven't had to recruit them. They haven't had to, you know, kind of verse them in terms of how to actually go about marketing our product. So what they're also going to do, they're going to pay us a small commission, but they're also going to give us a bonus plan. In Europe, we've got an amazing facility now that we can access up to £78,000 in bonuses for reaching the position that I got to. Sadly, Nikki, that they'd actually kind of brought that kind of bonus plan in after I got involved. But you know, I got involved for the small percentage, that passive income percentage, not because I was going to earn a bonus, but for the bonus for the people that have come in over the last 3 to 5 years. It's been a life changer. You know, I've seen 20-year-old people coming in and being able to put deposits down in houses. I've seen them completely change their lives with the accessing that income opportunity. And if we move on to the next slide. So listen, I always say that, you know, conversation is all very good, but let's hear from some of the people that are actually doing it. And, you know, I've got a couple of people that I've briefed before just to see if they would actually share their story with. Howard, I see you on the front row. There we go. So if you could unmute yourself and just give us, you know, a couple of minutes on, you know, your business and in terms of your testimonial on how you've got involved in what's happened with Juice Plus.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. This is my second dig at Juice Plus. I first came across it about 6 months after Gordon did in the early 1990s. And at the time, it just made sense to me. Unfortunately, a job change in early 1994 saw me traveling to Russia a great deal. I was over there 5 or 6 times a year, and it's something I chose not to continue with at that time. I was then reacquainted with Juice Plus by my original sponsor at the end of 2013. And his timing in terms of the product was absolutely ideal, as I had just committed to taking part in a major alpine cycling event the following July. And so I was keen to get I knew that the quality of the product, the quality of the nutrition would underpin the training that I was going to have to be doing. With 1 or 2 other products that completely fitted that profile, I was very keen to get involved in that regard. My own business, I'm a wine importer, and that business has become increasingly difficult because of increased competition and increased regulation within the industry. And I had been looking for a plan B. The question was, well, could I actually be able to, was I able to do this now? Now, I was able to see that it was the business I understood the business model, and I realized very quickly that it was going to be able to wrap around the various other things that I did. So I was able to brush up on my knowledge of the industry and obviously the knowledge of the products. And all I did was simply share my story and share the products with people that I knew and people that I came into contact with. And what's been absolutely fabulous in the 2 years or so that that's been happening are the people I've met. I've reacquainted with old colleagues like Gordon and James Sanderson, who I knew years ago, but I've also met a new generation of people that are in their own way as much as inspirational. And I've learned such a tremendous amount, and it's just a great privilege for me to be able to share that message and work with a growing team of people, and looking to take this business all the way to the top.
Thank you, Howard. That's fantastic. Nikki, Tanya, sorry, I said Nikki. Tanya, I see you in the corner there. Can you perhaps maybe share your testimonial about your business? I know you've got a very, very great product testimonial, but how has that helped you actually build your business?
Have you lost my face? Sorry, I've just gone blank on there. Can anyone see me or not? Is it just my voice that's coming through?
No, we can't see you. We just see your some picture. You've obviously, something's happened there. Never mind, just carry on.
I'll just chat. That's even better because I look a bit rough around the edges. I've been gardening. Okay, so I started taking the product about 2 years ago because of my own health problems. I was diabetic and I was in and out of hospital really, really poorly. So I needed something that was going to boost my nutrition and get my blood sugars regulated and just help with my overall serious concerns, you know, over my health. And then I got involved and I thought, you know what, I loved it so much, I became so passionate about it that I knew that this was for me, I could work for it. You know, I've worked in teams before. I was at home, I couldn't go and get a 9-to-5 job because I wasn't well enough to be able to do that. I needed to be at home as well. So I got involved and I started building my business, and it's taken a while, and I wanted to learn about it and get a really good customer base because I think that's really, really important. So a lot of my customers now are becoming, you know, team members, which is great. I don't really know what else to say. It's just, I just love it. I'm so passionate because it saved my life. You know, I was on 12 different tablets a day. You know, I've been on morphine for 17 years nearly. And for the last month, I'm actually going through what they call the cold turkey moment right now. I'm now free of morphine. I'm able to come off it. And that's down to Juice Plus.
Well done. Well, listen, Tanya, as Michelle said earlier on to Aviva, you know, these are the kind of stories that, you know, kind of inspire us to continue on what we're doing. And, you know, fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Okay, thank you. So, Nikki, if we can just go to the last slide, I think. There we go. So really, in summary, you know, what we've heard tonight is, you know, an amazing product. And in fact, I'm not sure this is your bit, actually, Nikki. Maybe this is you kind of to finish this off.
You can take it over. You carry on.
Okay. So, you know, these are the products that are so much needed today. You know, we hear some amazingly scary statistics about unhealthy lifestyles. I mean, we see it all the time. You know, you just have to go to the supermarket and watch some of the children in terms of their eating habits with their parents in terms of that. And we're helping people look good, feel good, and, you know, have more confidence and more energy. And that will never go out of fashion, I can tell you. Eating fruits and vegetables will never go out of fashion. I see the aisles getting bigger and bigger and bigger in supermarkets, and it's something that's the basic foundation of our health. In terms of the business, this is an opportunity, really. It's full or part-time, it's up to you. A lot of people start off as part-time, they turn this into their full-time income when they've got a choice, when their income comes up to a level that they've got a choice. And, you know, we saw tonight, there's an unlimited income potential. You know, the higher you climb within our business, the more we see the opportunity become greater. And, you know, we've got an amazing support network. I've recently come back from the office now in the UK, and we're now recruiting another 2 or 3 people. The staff has actually gone up to something in the region of 25, 30 people now. And we're seeing that in every single country where we're having a massive amount of growth over the time. And, you know, there's lots of opportunity, as I said, for growth. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. We're kind of in a huge growth phase at the moment. We're also introducing new products all the time. I'm one of 25 people who are testing out an amazing new product that's coming everyone's way. So we're very excited about that. And that's all that I'm going to say now, Nikki. I'm going to hand back to you. Thank you.
Well, absolutely super speakers this evening. Thank you so much. And, you know, these calls are actually designed, the regular calls designed to help save you time and effort in getting to events around the country. So do invite people to join us. You hear the professionals, you hear marketing directors with a lot of experience, and can't thank you both enough. Brilliant product and business presentations this evening. Does anybody have any quick questions before I finish the recording? Just raise your hand and I can unmute you or unmute yourself. No questions? You've done a fantastic job in that case. I'm going to stop recording right now. So thanks.